Oh, yeah. Should I start again?
I will make a motion to have Jennifer Feinstein start our
Second.
All right, thank you. So today is Monday, May 19th, and this is the Parks and Recreation Conservancy Committee. And we'll start the meeting by calling it to order.
Here.
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 Here. Cody Bratton. Here.
Okay. So now it is public comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anybody on the phone?
There's somebody on the.
No. Jill, are you here for public comment? Anybody? No, nobody's here for public comments. All right. Then we're moving on to reports. Committee chairperson is not here. Right. So no report. Committee members, any reports?
I just had a question about what's going on with Park or with the pool committee and if we are meeting again or where that's at.
Yeah, so the plan from the last meeting was for the village board to make two decisions. Those two decisions are critical, in my opinion, for the committee to actually even gain any momentum. And those two things would be how much the committee to raise and when are we going to build this out and or when are they going to need that money? And if we don't have those two answers, I have not scheduled any meetings. And I've more or less told that I've told Jay that because he's really he's the one that understands kind of a timeline in regards to when this could happen, but I don't believe he really want to put that out there because they're not really sure. I think they want to go through the Village Hall police station project and then see where our debt level is at that point. Is it even feasible or possible to do another project like that? What are interest rates? There's all these things kind of playing into this right now. And I know, talking to Cody, talking with others, the Village Hall police station project is starting to come in. It sounds like it's in quite over budget as of right now. So they're really trying to figure out, I know one of the trustees asked, at what point do we pull the plug on this project, knowing like we don't have the money?
For the pool or
Village Hall Police Station, yeah, Village Hall Police Station, and I don't remember, I don't know, I don't recall what the answer was to that, but obviously money is going to be the land, we have the road under contract, so everything's moving forward in that regard, but it comes down to what the bids are. And I think that's what Jay had said was like, we don't know what the bids are yet. So we're just getting conceptual, like what people believe the estimated cost of the building will be. If you look at other construction projects, that's what they're basing it all off of. But they're still going to go out to bid no matter what. So
just kind of on hold until
it is, and it stinks because like right now is a good time to get things rolling again with swim team picking up, and I want to hear a million complaints and questions and why aren't we doing this and that, and it's more of like I don't want to get ahead of. I mean, I'd love to get ahead of the fundraising aspect of things. If we start collecting money, and let's say we collected, even if it was $100 or $1,000 by next year. When are we using that money? And I don't want to be in that predicament again. So
you say like a reasonable answer is once we get the village hall figured out, the pool is the next.
Yeah, I'd actually.
Nothing else.
There are other, I think they took things down. There were things kind of up on top. The pool is at the top of the list. I mean, people know that it's a huge issue. I will say though that the village board in general has done a pretty good job at approving my requests for our current facility. So filters, we now have so a lot of them are things that we usually fix or we kind of done in the basin. So, and that's the big, that's the big pressure, big money cost to it as well. And we're going to have to do one or the other though soon. Like just the, we built with a plaster 20 years ago. Well, that plaster was ready to be redone or repainted. So we're gonna have to do one or the other. The plaster is probably looking at like $350,000 to $400,000 just to do that. So they're gonna have to choose, do we want to keep throwing Band-Aids at our current facility or at that point, do we want to start new? So they're in there. That's a big price tag. That's bigger than the other price tags we've had. So
Well, I think that is our response. We don't have control of this.
no, I don't.
We can't go to people and say, pledge us $1 million. We don't know when we're gonna use it. We don't even know if it's gonna be enough to use. We don't have the board's buy-in. We have nothing. We can't do this without their, and so I think maybe we could even take to the board. We should almost get talking points from them about how we should respond about the rules, so that we're all aligned and we have the same messaging.
Yeah.
And, because otherwise it's in the board's hands right now. Their priority is the village hall.
Mhm.
And then they will be able to, once a few other things will get in place, we'll be able to talk hopefully again about the pool.
Yeah.
But it really is on them at this point.
Is the site defined?
What's that?
Is the site defined for the pool?
They did define that. They said it would be up to their park or the new weekend property over there. We have all of that kind of in play. It's just, okay, that's all done. That's the feasibility aspect, and it's feasible to be there, splash pad at the current facility.
So that was my next question.
Yeah.
Are there plans for that current property?
Well-
That be a part of fundraising, right? You sell that property off for money to go to the new pool.
I don't know how that was donated or how that was all done. I mean, I'm sure you get
Separate than the library.
it is. It's separate. Yeah. Yeah. The library has talked about expansion though. And with our current facility the way it is, there'd be no expansion for them. But yeah, those are good questions. And those are things that could come up at some point if the board decides that that's what that wouldn't be money that's going to offset $7 to $10 million facility. By the time we're getting there, the problem is we keep pushing it down and down, further and further down the road. And all that's doing is just, it's really getting expensive. So, but it is their decision. And that's what I'm going to pretty much tell them in the summer is like, it's out of my hands. I'm not taking the blame for it. I'll take some of the blame, but I'm not the one that's able to really get this ball rolling. So that's where we're at. No, it was a long answer. Good question. Good question. So.
Okay, other report outs from the committee members.
Nothing.
No. All right, then up next, Parks and Rec staff.
Yeah, so Jill is here tonight to provide you a little overview of some new programming, but mainly one of the music programs that she's been working on. And I'll let her take the board away.
I
Put something up here.
So while this is starting up, this is the first year that Cross Plains will be participating in Make Music Day. And Carol Barth and I took on the idea. Sorry, I apparently don't know how to use technology. So, Make Music Day, I did not realize it was animated. In your eye. What was really appealing to Carol and I about the whole Make Music Day movement is that it can be performed by anyone and enjoyed by everyone. And they really do mean anyone and everyone. There's an example, this guy he had wanted piano lessons his whole life. He had taken 3 piano lessons, and he was like, this is awesome. And so I don't know if it was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever it was.
Response.
Yeah, but that was what he presented. That was what he presented during his time. And then you have professional musicians and everybody kind of in between. I know there are a couple of middle school and high school students who will be performing because they've been voluntold that they're performing. We're really excited about that. And it is completely free to members of the public. So there are no cover charges, no tickets to sell or anything like that. And businesses and residents are able to kind of work together. It's nice because residents are able to, see groups or hear different types of music that they might not be used to or haven't experienced before. And they're bringing into the businesses who have agreed to be host venues, people who might not normally go there. Last year, Carol performed at, now I'm not going to remember, she performed in Middleton at a restaurant that she had never been to before. And she had, I think, 8 or 10 people that had come out to see her. None of them had ever been at that restaurant before either. And while they were there, they were ordering a couple of drinks, they had some appetizers, and it never would have occurred to them to go there if she hadn't been performing as part of this day. So just kind of a brief history. Paris decided to start this back in 1982, and they decided on June 21st that they were going to do it to kind of bring in the longest day of the year with music. And in the past 43 years, it's spread to over 1,000 cities and 120 countries. In 2007, New York started theirs. And now in the United States, we have over 150 cities participating. Wisconsin actually has one of the highest number of performing or of venues that are involved. So, as I mentioned, Carol has participated in Make Music Days in the past. I heard about it from a former coworker, and both of us independently had thought Cross Plains would be fantastic for this. And then we started talking to each other, and we're like, oh yeah, let's work on this together. So we've been doing this since February of this year. We put it together during Trombone Day at Whitewater, where our boys were performing. And it really is anybody who can participate, any age, any ability, any community member, any type of music. You just have to love music and want to share that love with other people. So how does this relate to us and to Parks and Cross Plains? So we have 3 parks set up as host venues. So in Zander Park, we are planning on kind of doing the bigger, showier things because there will be a lot of people there. We feel like we'll get a lot of people just kind of walking by and stopping. So there is something called flower pot music that I hadn't heard before until we found out we could get instruments for this. And I mean, the instruments are mallets, and everybody brings a mixing bowl or literally a flower pot of some kind, and they all make different tones. And you just kind of experiment with different tones, different rhythms, and you kind of can walk around and, see how your instrument sounds with other people. And so it's just kind of a fun exploratory thing. Boom whackers, as I know Emily is very familiar with. They are a series of basically PVC tubes that are rainbow colored. And the bells are also rainbow colored, and so you don't have to be able to read music. You just
Like the
have
little
to.
hand, the little ones.
Yeah, the little handbells. So the mallets for the flower pot music, the boom whackers, the bells, and a program called Makey Makey are all donated to communities hosting Make Music Days from the Make Music Alliance that kind of oversees everything going on in the United States. The Makey Makey, if we get it and if we can get it to work, one of the things they show is being able to turn bananas into a piano. And it's alligator clips that are connected to this little circuit board, basically. And you don't have to know any programming or anything like that. You just connect both ends of the clips and you have it to the speakers, and it's pressure sensitive. So we're hoping we might be able to do something with one of the bridges in Xander Park and kind of see if we can turn one of the bridges into a musical instrument. And if we can't make that happen, I think just using a bananas for piano would be pretty fun too. Municipal park shelter, it's going to be there during open swim. The hours are determined by the host sites. And since it's Parks and Rec doing these particular host sites, we're aiming more for like kind of late morning into early evening. So there will be a variety of people. The event doesn't have a rain date, so we're hoping for good weather for June 21st.
The swim team has a home meet that weekend.
Oh, they do?
Yes, because I've heard about this through word of mouth, and I was like, we should be a host site. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, but we have a home swim meet, so we'll have to be after. Okay, then don't listen to me. I thought we were, oh, maybe we're at Mazo. Yes, never
Okay.
mind.
Okay,
So
that's
sorry.
good, 'cause
Yes,
I-
at Mazo. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I had a moment of panic. It's like, I could have sworn. Nope, that's okay. So yeah, there'll be electricity there. It's covered, so there's a better chance of it, events going there, rain or shine. Glacial Valley Park, we're just kind of opening up because again, it's a very popular park. There's lots of foot traffic. And so if people, kind of a grassroots almost, somebody wants to bring their acoustic guitar and sit there and sing songs for a bit, that would be a perfect location for it. So far, we also have Crossroads in the library who are host sites. So help us spread the word. Businesses and private citizens can host. If you look at Madison as just crazy with the amount of hosts that they have, and they have hosts like Mary's Backyard, the Langs' front porch, and yeah. So they like the idea of kind of unusual places. Oh my God. That would actually be kind of a fun place. Yes. Mhm.
All right, that's all right.
If it's in your private property, you don't.
That's what I was gonna, oh yeah, I was gonna host it, I was gonna host it up on our lawn, get the heart rings. Do you do it with us?
The back lawn.
That'd be cool. So you could do that. That's great. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm trying to rally. and
Okay.
like, so-
Yeah, no, that's wonderful.
Well, and I was wondering, 'cause, like, I was thinking, we have a deck or in the house, but I think when we have a comment or question, that was.
That is true. Oh.
They
Mhm.
But then it would be, you know what I mean, it's got multiple people.
Mhm.
But you know what I mean, like that would be nice to kind of collaborate, so that it's not
somebody bringing all their stuff that are.
Mhm. Yeah, that would be wonderful. And there is on the website, so the Make Music Alliance has done this really cool, really like easy to use to sign up both as a host and as a performer.
Yeah, I think you kind of like register and that will have.
Yeah,
Once we're-
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's pretty pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there's interest and people are kind of thinking about it. If you know of anybody who might be interested in like day of, like volunteers, kind of letting people know, why are people walking around with mallets and flower pots at Zander Park? Yeah. So yeah, oh,
I'm fine with it, as long as we're within. The father has the. Now, you have some amplified sound, the older. But someone could call you in to complain, and then the case is still up. In general. Something to think about.
Mhm.
Let them know.
yeah.
Well, there may be a point in time. But
Mhm. I haven't yet, but it's on our list. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we're hoping now that I've got the open house for camp kind of set aside, I can spend a little bit more time getting this going. And Carol's done a lot of like stuff behind.
There are other, like, you have the code here to scan your like, Facebook page.
We do have a Facebook page as well. Yeah.
Done.
It, yeah, and we're really lucky that it's a Saturday this year. So we'll have, I mean, when it's going to be on a Wednesday, that's going to be rough, but hope by then we'll have had a few years, so people are hopefully kind of looking forward to it and kind of planning ahead for that. Oh. All right. Thank you.
All right.
And then,
Then, I have some birthday.
Yeah, so since you're here, I'm just gonna start off first. I'd like to let you all know that she has been, and a lot of different things for this to go. Whether it be communication or just organization or keeping things, it can be chaotic in her department. And she has done a really good job. We've been like, we did that property 5 days, I felt for that, for helping organize, but also like then kind of keep all of our thoughts in mind and make sure that everybody knows, or that I know, or we know for next year, things that we complained about, or things that we could have done a little better, we got a little bit earlier, just different things like that. That she has been fantastic. Kudos to you and thank you. The after school program has been phenomenal. More, I'm gonna say, maybe more headache than what we have ever experienced ever, and she has taken every headache and done a fantastic job, making sure it's better, and that everybody is included in that.
Yeah.
I'm bored of stuff, a lot, this kind of plan.
thank you.
The other side of town, park, we have, some of the updates in the east. Pool got hit. A lot of it got hit, and it's on one part of the slide, so I tried to get that off, it doesn't come off. After you over it, right? Yeah. You hear of anybody? No rain fan? No rain on this one right now. They are, everything is, We did submit a grant. For the building grant, but kind of like under the park, for the baseball station. Mainly for the little shelter area that we're talking outside, baseball, and then the restroom area, so we're going to do equipment for that. Find out, usually we find out five. We haven't used the grant. We have to use, say, 2.5 to 3 million over the last 2 years or so. So I don't know if we need to. The Lions Legacy Project is blocking. We had our groundbreaking ceremony at Calgary, and we have purchased the shelter. We have bid right now for the project itself. So the bid is due May 29th, 2 o'clock. We'll be doing the bid opening. I've heard from a couple of companies right now that they're planning to be putting in for it. So that's good. And next week, I'm hoping to get kind of what we can do this time of season. Feeling the fact that it's not for a lot of them. Exciting. The Westview Playground is from first obviously the end, so probably the August. So we have to come to this in August and give us time, I'm pretty sure the staff and get off for food. But he came back last week and then started with things. So there's a lot of really fun stuff that I got. Great. And lastly, the pool. We built this one today. Tomorrow. One of the years for the weather is not all. We have our new. Family home, golf course. 470.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought it was like 400.
Oh, yeah, I do.
First phase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, first phase.
Oh.
Well. Yeah. Well, I mean, just so you're on that did send them the part number.
All right, yeah, so some of the information I know you're asking about was at least the first one, the location, that's kind of important. This, I believe, do you have, were you, yeah, okay. Were you sent the additional images of like the diagrams? For you, yes, okay, okay. It'll be just south of Bourbon Road at the base of the hill, kind of where the trail starts. Should be right there on the map. And then as for the actual construction of it, the hill is 66 feet long with 104-inch rise. And each step would be cut out of 6x6 timbers, which would be treated for ground contact. I think it's a typically yellow pine or just some sort of construction grade timber that will last. And each step would have 6 inches of rise, so which would be about 17 steps in total to cover the entire hill. And one important thing to note is that it would not be a continuous flight of steps. It would be just broken up to make traversing the hill a little easier and help prevent against erosion. Yeah, like a stretch. Yeah, it should be actually. Yeah. So something roughly like that. And then each of the steps would be 40 inches wide and 34 inches deep. And timber screws would be used to secure the wooden frames with rebar at the bottom and the top step. So essentially, these are box steps, so they're a bunch of wooden frames, like squares, stacked on top of each other and filled with like soil or gravel. And we're using rebar on the top and bottom steps, which would essentially lock everything in between in place. That way you don't have to do that for every single step. Let's see what else I got here. For the construction of the project, it sounds like the tools and the equipment needed would be very simple, just shovels, pickaxes, and then for constructing the steps, you just need saws and drills to screw everything together and cut the wood. And the process, the trenches would be dug, frames would be put in place where the trench is, and then filled back in with the dirt. So it's not like we'd be leaving a pile of dirt everywhere. And the top inch or so would be filled with gravel. That would be for drainage and just probably drip too, so you wouldn't have muddy steps in the rain or something. And then stones from digging up the dirt, although we might need to provide more from somewhere else, we placed alongside the steps to prevent the soil from filling in the steps just from washing out. Again, that will help with the erosion on the hill and make sure the stairs last.
Yeah, can I just
Yeah.
add one thing on that? Yeah, in our meeting, they said that what they typically do is they take stones like from the area for that. We scouted out the area. I don't know that we saw a whole bunch of stones lying around, but I guess we'll. Yeah. We start digging, yeah. So, but.
Yeah, you'll may find them pretty close.
Okay. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that, if you see us all of a sudden starting scavenging stuff out of the woods, they're like, oh, what are you doing? So, yeah. Yeah.
All right, and then those are all the details I have for the construction, but there's some other things. They estimate that it would be about $700-800 in total, and probably 600 of that would be just the lumber alone. And funding is to be determined later. We're going to attempt to get donations for that. And then maintenance after this is constructed, they should last about 10-15 years before we would be replaced. But and the Ice Age Trail Alliance will manage that after it's built. But other than that, it seems it's a pretty sustainable project and should help prevent against erosion and make the trail more easier to walk.
So we get to do this time as well as a committee. Yeah.
So,
Are these this is binding at this meeting, it goes to the village board, correct, or planning?
Correct.
Our suggestion goes to the board.
Correct.
our recommendation, they
Recommendation.
can say like, nope, gonna go the full opposite way.
They could. They shouldn't, and they normally don't, but they could go a different route. But
So the things that stood out to me. And I don't know if I did the math right, since I didn't remember about my, the meets and such, but what I calculated was there were 12 total public hearing responses. 7 of them were for Shope and 5 were for
Chauffeur chef.
Shep.
See, and that was one of the things I was saying.
And then there were 10 responses during the visioning session, 4 for Shep, 6 for other, something else. So it's like, it was close to about the same split, depending on which outlet. But when you total them, it's 50-50.
There's one that they didn't provide a name, there's one that
Yeah.
didn't provide. a name.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Right, so 50 for yes, and 50 for no. Right, so. The street, they already have a name, street name. It did resonate with me that somebody said it was hard to say, is it Shope, is it Schwab, is it Shep? They did get paid in a transaction, it's not a donation for the land. I have not heard any like compelling stories to say, and this is why they are like kind of weaved into the fabric of this community. Only like they've had a generational farm, which is all fine, but I didn't hear that, like this person did this thing. Whereas like you could have somebody else in the community who's been, you know, and they have like some stories and other people come forward with and this reason and that reason. There was something else, I went online trying to get some of the history to see like, well, just because I've lived here never doesn't mean that, right? So, but all I can find just online was a history of Donna and Linus Shep, who might have lived in the town of Cross Plains, selling, this family trust was like over a decade selling, and I don't know how that works, but almost like parts of the parcels of this land have been going to the town of Cross Plains and the detaching from the village and going out to the town of Barry. And that's like 2011, this is all, I mean, I just found, it, you know, 2011, 2000, and there were a few other dates. And I have 2019 was maybe the most related one. I don't know why that happens.
I can tell
So
you.
do you?
Yeah, so they annexed in, so they sold the land was then annexed into the village, right? To build, so it was in the town that whole time. And then it annexed into the village to develop, so normal developments don't happen within townships of that type of density. You usually would have a lot less homes going in if it were to be a town development. So most developments will happen in towns and cities, so that would annex into the village. Everything was good. Everything moved forward. There was part of this land that wasn't supposed to be annexed, which is the back half of it. So that got de-annexed,
Yeah,
got taken off the parcel, got de-annexed back into the township. This was like a area for maybe like family pets or something of that sort.
it's like.
It's just the backside.
2011, like I could trace back multiple detachments.
Yeah.
Is that adjacent to the current farm and the pond?
It's actually, no, it's the back half, so it's actually, there's a road. I don't know what the road name is, but it goes to nowhere. It's actually behind that is what they de-annexed.
The diagrams were like old, you know, so they were kind of hard to navigate, because I too was like, let me see.
So I can show. Oh,
So is it still their property? Is it still their property?
That property is theirs, that is correct, so they then. I don't know how that part happened, but Jamie had bought it, Jamie Zychek, he's the developer of this property. And Jamie ended up either having to sell it or give that back to them because that wasn't supposed to be sold, even though it was
Did it
in.
get sold? Did it get sold?
Yeah, it was
Transferred?
it was in there. Oh, this doesn't have all of them, does it? It should. Yeah. So it's actually this. It's this right here.
Sorry,
Oh, okay.
that whole,
So this.
that's bigger than 1.8 acres. Isn't it?
There were like a number
Yeah,
of these.
almost
over
10.
the years.
That's almost 10 acres.
So like there's a document from 19 that talks about it detaching with like the test buried at the 1.8. Then there's another document, I have them, in 2011 about another detaching agreement.
So they still have access to that through that,
Yep.
that.
Through here.
Build a house back there.
But again, one of the residents had made a comment about that, about like, well, if they wanted to do something.
That was you, wasn't it?
Was about the.
That was you.
Or something.
No.
No.
There's another one. There's a really right here that kind of lays everything out. I feel like that you're talking about. But I know Ron did also, and so did Kevin Enthusiast.
So,
That's what-
like, but it did speak to, like, having that give back component,
That's what it says. If the family wanted to make a significant donation
right?
towards the development of the park, I wouldn't have an issue with the name.
And,
10 acre
yeah,
parcel.
I also noticed Shep Motors in Middleton,
That's family,
it is family.
not theirs, but
I see. So, but like, I sales representation outside of the Village of Cross Plains, and we already have a street sign, there's also already a street sign.
yeah, they already have a street. So
It's family.
that in my sense is, I think it's gonna be confusing for people. You have Shep Lane and you have Shep Park, and they're not really necessarily right by each other either.
You can search for Shep Park and go to Shep Lane or vice versa.
Right.
And I've been in
Okay.
situations like that, where you find something and it's confused and.
Yeah, they have Elias. That was they already have his street as well, so they already have a lot of representation as well, into this area.
Read that John Shelley was from Roxbury and he married Sophia Rip. They passed away in the 30s. Like, I was really trying hard to find it.
So it looks like there's a street that right there that is, goes into that parcel, so
Yep.
is that? Is that a driveway?
No,
Is there?
this is a-
another-
It's a public street.
Yeah,
So
so
it
is there,
just dead end.
So what made them do, what the village made them do, and this make every development do, is anywhere there could be potential for growth in the future, that'll stop a road. So it has sewer, water underneath it. And so if and when they decide that sell this off and develop it, or they develop it or put on whatever it may be, this is already in
but
play.
it's not currently village zoned property.
This is not, this is in the town again, so the de-annex, so that they don't have to pay higher taxes on this property while they didn't have any housing.
Is it possible to put a driveway at the end of that stub road?
No. The village would not allow for any. So that would be like what happened up in your development, right? So the village learned a lesson about that in general. So this is where the village limit ends, right? This is all township. This was supposed to be a golf course. That golf course didn't go. So then they allowed them to expand roads and build all these homes up in the township. The only way to access their homes is through the village. Therefore, the village will no longer allow this. We learned kind of the hard way, but in general, that wouldn't happen. Their plows have to come over from the town of Cross Plains and they drive over all the roads. If they haven't plowed them yet, they'll drive over the snow. They don't put their plows down. It's,
And they don't plow.
no, it's such a bad scent, like,
Okay, I gotta go,
Right.
because now I'm getting a text that I gotta go get a band shirt from home before I go down.
yeah.
But my thoughts are, I agree with the comments in yours that I do not feel like it needs to be named after them. They have enough representation. They did not give any kind of donation. They made money off the land. And if I was going to suggest it, I would either pick, I mean, I think just keeping it Scenic Valley Park because that makes sense. I think about things like, we have like Gauswitz Park. Nobody knows what Gauswitz Park is. It's all just the blue park. Like, people are going to call it. Yes, you know what I mean, like, people need a name that
It's called it.
is sensible and makes sense to them. See, it's Scenic Valley Development, it's a Scenic Valley Park. It makes sense to me.
So for tonight, you don't have to pick a name tonight. And that's, you made a motion, I believe, right?
By what? I didn't motion anything, what?
I think you did.
Just
Let's
now?
go back and listen to it, but
I'm just saying, I said I had to go, but this is what I want to say.
we can't have, we have to keep it warm, so
We motion that we do not name it Shepherd.
someone has to make that motion. You can't ask a question.
These people.
You can make a motion, it's whether or not someone seconds it.
And what if we all say, what if someone names me?
That's fine.
So can I just make a motion that we do not to Shepherd Park for the name of the current Scenic Valley Park?
Second, Byron.
All in favor?
I
All opposed? Okay. Nice.
I do a roll call vote, we do a roll call vote just because there's only three of you and I did days, but let's just do that. So I'll do that. Yep. So Emily Spahn, yes or no? Yay or nay? Yay.
yay to not
Yep.
name it.
Ron Towski,
Yay.
Yeah.
Jennifer Bonte. All right. Motion carried.
Is it like everyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I was like,
All right.
we're adjourned. Well, like, if I would have wanted to ride in my car with me, I thought we were going
I
home,
get it.
so.
Yeah.
Also, I was like, why is Sophia calling me? I'm like, call dad. Yeah, sorry.